Please call the roll.
Ms. Ashworth?
Present.
Mr. Austin is not here. Reverend Bailey is not here. Ms. Clymer?
Present.
Ms. Guzman is not here. Sheriff Hill?
Here.
Captain Martz?
Here.
Chief Newsham?
Here.
Ms. Smith is not here. And Mr. Torres?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you so much.
You're
I'd
welcome.
like to acknowledge our visitors that are here this evening. And I know we have one visitor here that is a jail board alternate. Her name is Ms. Buckhalter. Welcome, Ms. Buckhalter.
Thank
And
you.
since you will be joining us at some meetings, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is LaTanya Buckhalter. I actually work for the city of Manassas for the Department of Social Services. I am an assistant director there, but I live in Prince William County. And I do have, my degree is in criminal justice, and I do have some law enforcement years of service.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome. Thank you. Actually, do we have any letters, requests from the public?
No, I did not receive any at this time.
Thank you, thank you. Could I get a approval of the agenda for the November 20th meeting?
So moved. Second.
All right, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Could I get approval for the minutes of our regular meeting that was held on September the 28th, 2024?
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, thank you. Superintendent, please give us your report.
All right, if you would turn to page 10. Operational capacity for September and October was 871. The management capacity is 1320. Go down to the average daily population for FY25 for 4 months is 559. Down to the bottom, we've had September we had 11 MH transferred to the state. October we had 4. Commitments we had 653 for September, 697 for October. Releases we had 642 for September, 700 for October. Processes only for September we had 73. We had 90 in October. So in September, the complex daily high average population was 586. That was on the 16th of September. The monthly average is 564. Complex average for October, the high was 580. That was on the 15th of October. And the monthly average is 563. So you go over to page 14. Number 1, the items to the right in the column are the areas that we advertise in for our vacancies. Number 2, the Prison Rape Elimination Act. There were 3 harassment complaints for September and October. Number 3, we had career development. We had 14 jail officers graduate from the basic academy. Mandatory in-service training was 11 officers. Mandatory firearms training was 224 officers. Mental health first aid was 14 staff members. We had mandatory PREA training. We had 14 staff members. And the mandated cybersecurity was 329 staff members. Number 4 is ongoing process for maintenance. The pipe project was completed October 23 of 2024. That was the pipe project and the renovating of the old laundry room. So participation, evidence-based decision-making. Since 10/19/21, we've given out 839 boxes of Narcan. We currently have 87 inmates on medicated assisted treatment. On page 18 starts our graphs. If you'd like to look at them, if you have any questions, feel free.
Going back to number one, if I can, I just wanted to know how the recruitment and for the jail is coming around.
We're
See.
pretty much the same numbers we've had. We'll hire 4 or 5 people and we'll lose 6 or 7 people. The last 2 weeks of October, we had 8 resignations. 2 retired, 6 went to other jurisdictions.
Because we were doing some measures, adopted some measures to somehow either retain or being incentivized jail officers to remain and or come to this jurisdiction. Money-wise, I mean, in salaries and bonus, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to know if that is having some effect or if that's not having an effect on our structural issue of not being able to retain.
We've been looking at some ways of attracting. We're in the middle right now of a pay and compensation and retention study with PFM. We're looking at different ways of trying to attract. The county had adopted some retention bonus for us. So we're trying to, we're just at the beginning of that, so I don't know how successful that will be. Salary is a big thing. When they can go elsewhere for $20,000+ more and move up in their years of service as far as money. We've found that there are people that can leave here and go someplace else and actually gain 10 years of salary by just moving to, specifically Loudoun is a big one. But we are looking at trying to figure out if we can have some creativity in attracting people. We're doing more job fairs, more reaching out to the colleges and the classes, and we're looking internally at some stuff, but it's still really in the working phases.
As we understand, or at least as I understood, we were training them, hiring them, training them, and then they left for some other jurisdiction, and that was kind of a systemic issue because it was like a regular thing that was happening.
Yes.
And I was just wondering how you're addressing that, and because that will continue. If we keep doing the same thing, we're going to get the same results.
Same results. You're right, and that's I think in the compensation and retention study. Those are the things we're putting forward and trying to get thinking creatively about how the scale is structured. What kind of salaries we need to offer here in order to keep people here, or to make it more attractive to stay instead of going. Because a lot of people are looking for a bonus is nice, but a bonus doesn't affect your retirement. It doesn't affect your paycheck the way that salary does.
That's true. That was mine.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that. All the jails in Northern Virginia are short. And of course, we're very, some of them pay a little bit more than what we pay. I know 3 jails in Northern Virginia that are now currently mandatory overtime, which is really tough on staff. I must commend the staff that they've been able to not go to that yet. I hope we don't do that, because then you begin to lose people, because it's really tough working those 12-hour schedules and then have the mandatory overtime on top of it. So hopefully we won't get there, but it's very tough in this area to recruit jail staff. Not only Prince William, but other areas also, other jurisdictions. Yeah.
Sure.
They all want to be police officers. They don't want to be jail staff. It's always been really tough for us to recruit staff, but it really has had an impact on jails in the last 2 or 3 years. So hopefully we'll get something out of the study. Yeah. good question. Any other questions for the superintendent?
Just a follow-up, is
Just
the
final?
study for other areas of the county or just for the ADC?
The ADC, sheriff, police, and fire are the first phase, and then I believe the county is going to be looking at the general scale, the general employees.
Separate.
Any other questions?
No.
So you have a bird, an eagle in front of you. We did a contest with our staff to develop a mascot for the jail. And this jailer, Justice the Jailer, was selected. So he's our new mascot. You'll see him pop up in some of our paperwork. And we're trying to get some other things so we can introduce him to the public.
Did the winners receive an award or anything? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a contest, so there was a prize, and
Okay.
yeah, we had fun with it. The staff had fun with it. It's good for morale.
Master Jail Officer Bishop, she won the contest. She's also the voice of our radio ad.
Okay, all right.
She did a good job on that.
Yeah. And I want to commend y'all too on the vehicle you got with the recruitment on it. I hope that gets some attention.
It's like driving a billboard. I'm driving it.
Yeah, so that's a creative way that we've come up with, I think, to sort of advertise our agency and help get out there. That's been really, really good in terms of response. And then just bridging the gap with the community and getting involved in more events so we are visible and more of an attractive thought in everyone's mind in terms of career, will help in that, but all that takes time.
Right. Thank you, sir. Superintendent, anything?
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
On page 16, you have the graphs for the ADP for the past 24 months. Page 17, you have the building population. We have, when we finished the pipe project, we've moved the inmates back out of the mod building. So very limited use on the mod building now. We moved them back over to the main in this building. Page 18, we have transfers to Department of Corrections. Page 19, we have ADP commitments. ADP versus commitments for the past 24 months. Page 21, we have system ADP since 1998 by fiscal year. Any questions on those? That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. Any questions for the superintendent concerning his report? Any questions you may want to ask the superintendent? All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Glick, you want to give us a budget update?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to flip to page 34? We'll start with the summary of where things stand fiscal year 25 to date as of October 31st. On the revenue side, we are still set. This kind of same story as a couple months ago. We're still set to exceed our revenue projections slightly. just based on higher projected or higher actual state compensation board expected versus what we have budgeted there. So we do expect some upside in revenues. City of Manassas utilization rate as of October 31st was down to 10.2%. We did budget again at the 13.5%, so we do expect to give them a refund at the end of the year because they pay in based on that budget all year. On the operating expenditure side, we are on a good pace, reasonable spending pace thus far this year, and nothing extraordinary to report in terms of any medical expenses or any building repairs or anything thus far this year. Knock on wood, we're doing very well. For Homeland Security billing, ICE and U.S. Marshals, we billed 15 days of that in September and 16 days in October. I did add just the number of inmates there because the number of days has gone up quite a bit this fiscal year, but it's really just this, it's just the people, a similar number of inmates with longer stay. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We do have one upcoming County Board of County Supervisors agenda item going into the December 10th agenda will be our request to fund the leased space for our training operations that again are housed in the annex now. We have been asked to fund that out of fund balance for fiscal 25, the remainder of that, as well as the 26 cycle. Which we're happy to do out of our fund balance until the Judicial Center Complex project hits the county's budget, and there will be general fund funding available going forward from there. So that is coming up for anyone that wants to tune in to that board meeting.
What's the
We
date?
will be there, December 10th. Oh, the date we will occupy, we're hoping for January 1st. There is some work that has to be done in it.
William-Manassas City.
It's this is for, it's the Piedmont Bank building over on West Street. City of Manassas decided they did not want to rent the old police building. Yep, so this will be just it's a commercial building. In terms of just a 26 budget, the superintendent and I presented the 26 budget to the county just last week, to the county executives. Our budget requests this year total about 2% of our budget expenditures, so we are well below their 5% threshold this year. And then, of course, as the major mentioned, we do have that sworn pay study that will impact our budget, but that is still sort of a to be determined and will be built in later in the budget cycle. Just wanted to highlight some of our noteworthy requests. We are asking for some investment in technology. Again, we put forward the RFID project. We think that's very, very important for this facility. We will have some new testing requirements to test in the Informa system through DCJS, same as police, so we will require some Chromebooks. So there's a chunk of money for that requested, as well as just support to continue to utilize the Corrections One training platform system and some other modules for the warehouse and to move towards a paperless records management system in the technology world. On the recruitment side, we did request some additional support there to beef up our efforts in recruitment, to beef up some of our advertising. We have dipped our toe in the radio world this year. That is expensive, so if we want to continue that, we ask for some funding to support that. We've got a much more robust event participation planned for next fiscal year, as well as an idea to start an employee referral incentive program. We get a lot of great candidates from our employees, so if we can build a program, an incentive program around that, we feel like we might have some fruit on that tree as well. On the operations side, just some increased funding to support our new preventative maintenance schedule that our maintenance group started last year. It's much more robust to hit a lot of our very critical components in our infrastructure in the facility. Will hopefully allow some of those more costly break fixes to lessen and that severity to not be so extreme as we saw even last fiscal year. Just keeping up with some of that maintenance. We have new fleet that we bought last year. So that new fleet being in productivity obviously has a higher cost. We had a lot of cars that were just sitting and now we're actually using them. So that equates to new cost. We have new polygraph vendors with much higher rates now, and just want to get on some replacement program for some inmate housing washer and dryer units and things like that in our operations. And then of course that lease, which as I said, we've now tabled for 26 and moved into the 27 budget cycle. That'll be supported by fund balance in 26. So that's in just a summary of what we requested for our budget, and we'll find out with everyone else whether or not that will be supported. The commissary updates, we fell at 21% of our budget spend as of October 31st. The only item noteworthy within that single item reporting requirement was the last payment on our rec flooring project. We were finally finished with that. The weather cooperated. We were able to finish that project and reopen our rec yards. So you'll see a large $41,000 payment there for that project. And then in terms of commissary cash balances, we finished this month of September just over $2 million, and the same with October, so not much fluctuation in those total balances. And then our inmate trust accounts for September finished at $61,824 and October at $58,153. And then just to flip back, I did provide you all with our final FY24 results. Just to close that loop, now that FRC has finalized all of the county side of our year-end reporting, and we completed the year, if you flip to page 41, with revenues of $1.5 million in excess of budget. So that will float to our fund balance. And then on the expenditure side, we came in at $3.4 million below budget expectations. And the bulk of that, if you look at the top, $2.6 million of that is our vacancy savings. It's our salaries money that we did not spend because we did not fill those seats. And that is how we finish. So that will also float to fund balance at the end for the end of fiscal 24. Happy to answer any questions on any or all of that.
So at present, the fund balance stands at about what, how much?
It's just over 18 million at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
That's after this money went in there.
Sure.
Yes.
That's what the board like.
Yes, the board likes to dip into that if we can, as absolutely, and we can support that, so that's no problem. It's nice to have.
Any questions for Ms. Collect concerning her budget report? Thank you. Superintendent, I want to come back to you. You mentioned you had 14 people graduate in the last class.
Yes, sir.
How is recruiting going for this upcoming class?
We have 14 in January.
Got 14
more.
January. Okay, great, good. All right. Thank you. All right, we're here to jail board members' comments. All right, Ms. Connell, I'm gonna start with you and come this way.
I don't believe I have any comments, just to, commend the staff and the leadership for managing with the shortages, and I'm sure what that looks like on a day-to-day basis is pretty challenging, and I hope that everyone will get to have some time off over the holidays, and that won't be impacted. Thank you all for what you do.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
First, this is the last meeting of the year, right?
Yes.
So next time we meet will be January. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and happy holidays for the rest of the holidays to everybody, to staff and fellow members of the jail board. Just let's get out of the way. And I just wanted to ask a question basically about, if you can tell me, at what stage are we on the search for a...
I will comment on that in a few minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
That would be all. Thank you.
I just want to say I love the new mascot. It's very cute. And thank you for all your work.
Just want to echo the sentiments earlier on behalf of the men and women of the City of Manassas Police Department. Just happy holidays and look forward to seeing everybody in January after you get some time off.
All right, thank you. Chief?
Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. On Thanksgiving Day, for those who are interested, we'll be having our annual 5K run walk over at 2 Silos, 8 o'clock in the morning. Might be a little chilly, but everybody's welcome to attend. See some of these faces out there. It's to honor one of our officers that we
Might
lost,
be 80 degrees, you never know.
Chris Young. So
That's great.
hopefully I'll see some of your faces out there. Thank you.
Are you gonna run?
I'm going to walk.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to walk in years. My wife's going to run.
Okay, what's your
Are you coming? You going to run?
No. I have a bad leg. I have a bad leg. All right, the question about the search for the superintendent is going well. The consultant called me today, and I think it closes in a couple of days. I've already closed, I'm not sure of that, but she's going to get with me on Monday and send me some applications for us to take a look at. Mr. Clymer, I know you're on the committee. Hopefully, next month, we can get together and look over the applications that we want to get down to about 3 or 4, and hopefully we can get those 3 or 4 candidates before the jail board in January. We could probably do it a little faster, but we got the holidays coming up, and I know it's kind of difficult to get a lot of people together. And the superintendent and his staff are doing a great job, so we don't need to rush into it. I know he's enjoying being the superintendent because he gets some tough days once in a while, but that's part of the job, right, George? That's tough, yes. So we'll be getting committee together, and we'll be looking at those applications and bring those qualified candidates before the jail board. We'll probably have to have a special meeting in January for that. We don't want to take up everybody else's time with that, so I will make sure that we do everything that we have to do to have that meeting, that extra meeting in January. All right, great. All right. Anything you can tell us about court? Anything you can tell us about
any
about
cases?
our neighbors, Alzira?
Yes, well, the case was continued today over the objection of the Commonwealth. The defendant had 2 defense attorneys representing him. One had been on the case for a long time. The other one just came in last month. And she withdrew from the case, the newest one, and so the other defense attorney said he needed a continuance. We objected. We really wanted this case to go forward in December, but the judge granted the continuance, and it will be reset, I think December 6th or December 2nd. They put it on the docket. So.
And of course, the lawsuit that was filed against us, I think she withdrew from that case as well. And Mrs. Pandak is on vacation right now, but she'll be back in town shortly to give us more information about what's going to happen on that case. All right. Good. All right. Thank you so much. Again, thank you for coming. And I too wish everyone a happy holidays. Enjoy. Anything special for the inmates around Christmas time, Captain West?
I haven't had with the chaplain yet, but usually we do something. About 3 or 4 years ago, we partnered with Hopeful Hearts. Anybody that's in the reentry program, in the drug dorm, in the mine dorm, they come in and the inmates will fill out a list for the kids, and they would bring these big baggage and try to fulfill them with toys and clothes and sweaters and different things like that. And we set up in the front lobby, and they're allowed to come throughout the day and kind of pick them up from early morning hours to afternoon hours so people can get off work. Of course, we give out cards, like the chaplain will give out cards saying today, family members and loved ones and stuff like that. Of course, we have like a special holiday meal, things like that. So,
Thank you, Captain.
no problem.
Thank you. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Thank you.